What's going on? We're gonna give it a second, just to let everything kind of build up and let people come on and watch the live stream. But what's going on, everyone? Yeah, I know I missed yesterday. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. You may notice something different. I hadn't thought about this like before when I was doing the live streams. I was cropping the camera in, but I decided to just turn it on its side so it actually fills up like the vertical thing on IGTV and whatnot. But what we're doing today is last week I actually talked about using cheaper equipment and how like you can get similar quality out of much cheaper equipment. And so, for example, like I'll just go over everything we're using right now. So the camera I'm using is the Lumix S1H. It's a $4,000 camera. This microphone is the EVRE320, and I think this mic goes for about $250. We are actually going to be switching to a camera that's a tenth of the price of this one. So we're going to switch to a $400 camera, and then we're going to switch to a $25 mic. So we're actually going down by like almost, like I said, like all this equipment is going to be 10 times as much as the equipment we're going to switch to. And I'm going to show you how you can get a great quality, very close to this. Well, not the camera. The camera's a little bit different because of the dynamic range and everything on the camera. And this camera's full frame. We're going to be switching to a micro four thirds camera. But I'm going to show you how you can get very similar quality out of much cheaper gear. And I think I really wanted to do this one because, people always ask what gear you use. And then when I tell them the cost of my gear, they're like, oh, well, there's no way I can do that. But I want to show you how you guys can get great video and sound quality out of it. Again, happy Mother's Day to everyone who's joining. I'm just going over a little bit stuff there as we allow and let people build up. We'll let the viewers build up and stuff. So again, we're going to be showing how you can get a very similar quality to these two pieces of equipment total or are what 42 almost $5,000. We're gonna show what you can get out of basically a less than $500 setup for streaming and audio. So again, pay attention to the video, pay attention to how I look. I'm not as well lit as I usually am when I do this. And by lit, I actually mean the lighting. But we're not actually as lit just because the battery on my light is going down and I forgot to charge it. But I didn't want to wait too far in the day to do this since I'm already a day late since I didn't stream yesterday. I apologize if you guys hear my son as well. So again, this is a basically $6,000 setup or everything total, about $5,000 setup. We're going to switch to around less than a $500 setup when we switch to the video. So thanks for following. Again, if you guys are anyone who catches up kind of after this, let me know. But we're going to go ahead and switch our equipment now. All right. And so now we are actually switched to a much cheaper set of equipment. So this, wait, because I didn't want to switch the mic because I wanted to make sure you guys could hear the audio quality. So this is the expensive mic. I'm going to switch the other mic right now. So just give me a second. If it makes a bit of a sound in you guys' ear, I apologize. Hold on. All right. Can you guys still hear me? Can you still hear me okay? Let me know in the chat if you guys can still hear me okay. I have my headphones on to make sure it was okay. But so we switch now from that almost $300 mic, depending on what sale price you get it at, to now we're on you can't hear me? You can't hear me? You can't hear me? Let me know if you guys can hear me. Can you hear me? Um, Let me know if it's coming through right or not. Can you guys hear me okay? But okay, cool. So this mic now is, yeah, it's gonna be much lower. That's one of the downsides of it. Let me get closer up on it and let me turn the volume up a little bit just so I can get as close to the sound that I was able to get before. But again, so the other mic also has a booster on it, which I didn't want to take the time to switch to this one. But so this is what you can get out of a tenth of the cost of what I usually use. Now, yeah, it doesn't look as good. The other camera I was using is a legit movie camera, like it's made to shoot movies. So you're of course not going to get that level of quality and detail out of it. If you look, like, everything should be a little less refined. My facial hair looks a little less refined and as deep. The mic, if you didn't hear me start on the other mic and then switch to this one, you probably wouldn't hear much of a sound quality difference. Actually, on this week's episode of The Awakened Soul, the actual when it released, I record one segment with my more expensive mic, and I record another segment with the cheaper mic, and I want to see if people pick up on it or not. But yeah, so this is what you can get out of a much cheaper setup. As you can see, like I said, it's not going to be as good of detail. It's not as refined, but you can't tell me that this isn't a great streaming quality camera. Again, this is a tenth of the price of the $4,000 camera I use. Still get the blurry background. See, all that still looks blurry. Still look very sharp if you look at my hand and everything. This one is actually a little bit better with streaming too, is because it has a remote. So like, it's not going to do much because I'm in focus. Let me scoot a little back. So I have a remote, and you can like remotely change your focus depending on how you go around the camera. Now the other one doesn't have that because it has a better autofocus system. So again, it's you can get around the bells and whistles that a more expensive camera uses, but this is still great quality. Like, this is better than using your smartphone, and this has an interchangeable lens. I didn't talk about the lenses. So on the more expensive camera, I'm using a Sigma 45 millimeter, no 45 millimeter lens that runs about $500-600. This one, because the camera's cheaper, the lenses are also cheaper. I'm actually using a 25 millimeter lens on this one, and this one actually only costs about $125. So you can still get great quality, and this is why I said last week when I was doing the tutorial, knowing how to get the best out of the equipment that you have is just as important as spending money on equipment. Like, you can get great quality out of things, you just have to know how to use it correctly. And again, $25 microphone, $25, and that one was $250. So I've literally upped my quality, 10 times as much, paying for stuff, but this still looks very good. So yeah, this is just something I wanted to do and wanted to talk about because I know people, like, equipment is what you'll hear about the most conversations about, especially in the creative landscape. Creatives always talk about equipment they use, equipment, but they very rarely talk about how to get the best quality out of the equipment. Just buying a bunch of equipment, if you don't know how to use it, you're just throwing money into the wind. So it's really important to know how to get the best out of it. Now, because I'm live streaming, I can't do as much as I would do in post-production. So for example, like, I would in like editing my podcast after the fact, I can get this to match that microphone nearly, very closely. But when you're doing it live, of course, you can't post product anything or anything like that. So I can't add any like EQs or balances out or anything. But yeah, so I really wanted, this was the thing that I wanted to do the most on this week's stream, is just talk about and show the equipment and show the change. Go back and look at it, because I'll make sure that you can post it and see it afterwards. So go back and look at the beginning of the stream, the quality, the sound. Come back and look at this. But now this is where I open up the floor to everyone. What has been on your guys' mind? How are you spending your Mother's Day? What equipment are you guys moving into? What do you guys think about I may actually, because I don't know, like, I haven't dusted off this camera in such a long time. I'm still really impressed by the quality of it. This was the first camera I ever started using, and now I have the cinema camera that I started this off with. I also have a camera now that I focus more on photography with. I'm actually thinking about doing a giveaway for this one and giving this to a lucky creative, because it's all about paying it forward. But yeah, so everyone in the chat now, what you guys think about the change in quality of the stream? I know the audio it's a bit lower. I got to kind of get more up on this mic. But again, if you're not live streaming, and if I had this microphone on that arm over there, you probably wouldn't tell the. Can you actually post a photo of the equipment you're using now to your IG stories? Yeah, I could do that after the fact. But yeah, this microphone is also a little bit further away because the arm that I use is usually when I have guests in the studio, so it's on the other side of my desk. So I'm kind of stretching it to make it over here. And this mic, of course, can I get it back in the frame? This mic, of course, is made so it can get closer to me and I can get better sound out of it. I can't really do that with the other one, unfortunately. But yeah, I can post pictures of the gear that I use for sure. Yeah, yeah. So this is again, and as live streaming is becoming more and more important, I've talked about it when we've done this series. Live streaming is really, really the thing that can take your product and your creativity and your base and your reach to the next level. And it's not that you have to do a bunch of it. It's not like you have to be like, oh, I'm gonna live stream X amount of hours a day. Like just eliminating that barrier between people listening to you if you're a podcaster, even if you're a YouTuber, and then like seeing you after the fact, but being able to interact with you live takes things to the next level. So I think live streaming is really needs to be on a lot of people's, a lot of creatives, the forefront of what they do going forward. Where did you get your background sound pads from? Listen, so um, everything that you see, it's either from Sweetwater Sound. Most of my equipment I order from Sweetwater Sound because they have great customer service. You get everything in like a day or two when you order it. That was before Corona, of course. I don't know how that's changed since then. So the pads I've got, some of them came from Amazon and some of them came from Sweetwater Sound. Because if you can't tell, like in the video, you can't tell, but the ones directly behind me on this wall are actually thicker than the other ones. The colors just look the same. But I wanted these ones to be thicker, so they're a little bit more expensive because this is right next to the stairs. Like you can't tell from where I am, but the way that my recording space is, I have my podcast recording space is in a corner, so it's in one corner of the room, and then a spot where I'm going to start doing Cordero versus Haize, the dual show. Um, I built a set over on the other side of the room for that. So like this one's right against the steps. That's why I wanted the thicker pads. But you can get really, really good ones from Amazon too. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, so this is what you get. Like again, the thing that I like most about this camera specifically, especially if you're like doing stuff live or if you're a one man show like me, everything I do is I don't have a team. It's just me. Will this video be uploaded to YouTube with listening links? You purchase the equipment. So the thing that I've been running into, and maybe somebody can because I don't stream to IG Live from my phone. I actually stream it from my computer and these cameras. So like I haven't had the ability to save after it goes up. So if someone can point me in a direction of where I can save this after the fact. I know it's easy from your phone. You can just click save, but unfortunately I just haven't been able to have that ability. So like I want to post this to YouTube. I'll see what I can do. I may just re-record it maybe the same way but a little different and just post it up to YouTube that way. I don't know, but yeah. Yeah. So I mean, and all the equipment, like like this was the microphone I used for the majority of the Awaken. So that microphone, the more expensive one I've had probably for about 8 months now. But I've always gotten compliments on my sound quality. I've always gotten I got syndicated on the radio using this microphone. I switched to that microphone because that is a microphone you find in a lot of radio stations, and I just wanted to upgrade. But yeah, yeah. I mean, you can get great quality. And I wasn't able. I tried to figure out how to like hook my phone up to the streaming software so I can like show you the difference between streaming from your phone, streaming from a more expensive camera, and then a mid-range camera. But unfortunately, like OBS, which is the open broadcast system, that's what I use to stream to from my desktop to YouTube. It doesn't sync good with phones. Like there's a way I can sync it, but the delay in the audio is so terrible. I refuse to put that on my platform because that shit is terrible, like legit. Um, but yeah. So any other questions? Any other questions? I know it's everyone's Mother's Day. I hope you guys are really celebrating the mothers in your life, whether it's your friend, your mother, your grandmothers, your sisters, your siblings, like everyone who's a mother in your life. You really need to celebrate in this time. I can't stress that enough. Because I think and if you're somebody who celebrates your mom all year round, like we do, me and my siblings, we always randomly send our mom stuff or send her on trips or whatnot. But this is the time where we really need to be celebrating the mothers in our lives. So, hoteps be damned, and that's the inside thing to this Facebook group I'm in. But yeah, anything left? I didn't expect for a lot of people to watch this live, so hopefully a lot of people come back and watch it after. I know it's Mother's Day. I know it's a holiday. I just could not stream yesterday. I'm not going to lie. I had a very intimate recording yesterday for the Awaken Soul podcast. And I know I've seen a couple people join. If you're just joining, actually on this tutorial, I've been showing I started it off with streaming with a $4,000 camera and a $250 mic. I switched over to a $400 camera and a $25 mic to kind of highlight what you can get and the quality you can get out of much cheaper gear. But yeah, I had a really good recording on transparency, and my friend V actually did the interviewed me on my own podcast, and asked me and made me think about things that I do and how sometimes I'm not the best friend. So it's a completely transparent episode that made me like really have to reevaluate. And after that, I was too, like, it was emotional. I couldn't like stream, and I didn't have the same energy. So yeah. Yep. Any other questions before I go? I'm cooking today. I cooked yesterday too. I made some other pork chops. The shit was fire. But today I am making fried chicken. The greens are already on because I slow cook my greens for like 12 hours, and they're fire. There's a perfect amount of tender, and they don't like anyway. Mac and cheese, sweet potatoes. I'm making a whole soul food dinner. I'm finna hook it up. I may post pictures of that later on too. I may do that. But yeah, if there's nothing else, no other questions, make sure, like, I want to make sure everyone, I know there's a bit of a delay, so if you have any questions, let me know. Barbershop, next time I stream, I finally, it's been 2 months since I've been to a barbershop. 2 months. My appointment is next Friday, 10 a.m., and I can't wait. I may cut all this shit off. The hair is definitely gone. Like, I love my natural hair when I've been able to keep it up, but because I've been like stuck like this for so long, the waves are coming back. I got to go back to the waves. The beard. It may come down some, but it was never going to leave all the way because, as you guys know, I am the red bearded assassin. So I can't get rid of it all the way. Otherwise, like, the brand is all fucked up. But yeah. So again, I really want to thank you guys for showing up for this. I finally picked a name for it too. So for this segment. So I've been doing this every Saturday for like, I think like this is like the 4th week now, but of course I was late today. And I'm going to start calling this Hanging with Haize, because, you know, even though I give like tutorials and I give a lot of information on gear and stuff like that I use, ultimately this is just us hanging out as creatives, talking, people who are interested in the creative lane. I don't stream as much on my actual personal IG page, especially not business. If I do stream there, it's usually just me being silly or dumb shit with my kids. But here, like, because it's usually a conversation with other creatives, it's going to be Hanging with Haize. Just going to be chilling, man, talking about how to improve our craft, how to improve our creativity, and how we're going to take the shit to the next level. Because I think ultimately, like, what has been able to separate me from a lot of creatives in that same area that I'm in is the level of professionalism I handle everything with. I was one of the first in our group to actually file for my podcast as an actual business. We've branched out to like doing recordings for other people, to photography, to videography, filming a damn web series this summer as everything opens up well. So like the Breaks Media, The Awakened Soul, like, I'm so proud of what we've been able to build as an actual company, but I want to share that love with everyone. I want everyone who wants to get the most out of this creative lane and turn this into a business, turn this into making some kind of income if they can off of it. I want people to be able to do that. And I think what happens so much in this creative culture that we're in is people withhold information like it's going to stop or hurt them from growing. So I'm trying to fight against that with what I do and what my platform is. So yeah, Hanging with Haize is what we're going to do every Saturday for the foreseeable future. I know today isn't Saturday, but it's going to be every Saturday. I'm going to try to keep it in the mornings around 10 a.m., 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll look at that. That time is kind of fluid depending on what's going on, as you can see with today. But yeah, it's just everything's going to be intentional, man. We got to be intentional with how we move. We got to be intentional with what we do, because I think, like, it's easy to get caught up in like being content in your content. Like that, it was kind of how we started this, but being content in what you create and being content in just posting an episode or telling people you did it, but we don't really think about the things that actually make it a business. We don't think about the marketing. We don't think about the promotion. We don't think about the analytics, all things we've talked about in this series so far. And we're just going to keep it pushing. I actually have some new equipment coming too. I have an actual live switcher, which is going to make this more like a TV production. I got it like more just it. You'll see. And again, as I continue to grow in what I do with my platform, I want people to grow too. And that's my thing. Like, with live streaming and finding my thing and like this live streaming thing, I automatically started thinking, all right, how can we make this the most like TV? And it's ambitious as shit. Like I tweeted out yesterday, like somebody needs to take my debit card because I spent like another $2,000, and then I woke up this morning and a lens I wanted was on sale, and I spent $500 on that. So like in the span of the last 3 days, I've spent like $2,500 on equipment, man. Shit's sad. But when you living your life like I am, I guess you could do that. What does that? So a live switcher, what that does, you know how like, so if you're watching like NBC News or whatever, and how they switch the cameras back and forth. Like let's say I'm interviewing you, Tia, and then how it'll automatically switch, or you just get a different angle of somebody. So or you can like add graphics while you're doing it, or you can like bring up, like if I'm talking about Vin Diesel, I can bring up like the article I'm talking about so you can see it on the screen or a picture of him. It's going to take what I'm able to do with live streaming and take it from like this rustic type of live streaming to a more professional TV style live stream. So that's what I'm aiming to do. But that's it. I know I set out to this to be a 10-minute thing. We're 20 minutes in again, but I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to head out. I want to thank you guys for all the love and support. If you have any questions, again, DM me. We'll cover them next week. This has been Haize. Thanks for checking out The Awakened Soul and hanging with Haize, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.